In the decades following the Civil War, better means of transportation and the spread of national mail-order businesses meant customers nationwide could request goods previously unavailable in remote locations like rural North Carolina. Women nationwide devised creative uses for many products of this age of advertising and industrialization: feed sacks, tobacco premiums, factory seconds. They influenced and shaped the economy around them through their handcraft, with companies responding in a variety of ways to seamstresses' fabric preferences. Quilting was changing. No longer was needlework proficiency a key signal of high social status. Women whose mothers and grandmothers had lacked access to cloth for quilting now had an abundance of fabric sources at their disposal, and they used it to provide useful bed covers to their households. Society was also changing, and the quilts women produced during this period of increasing racial segregation and violence both reflected and complicated the unequal relationships of the Jim Crow era. Utilitarian quilts give voice to women's efforts to provide for their families and communities. With creativity and resourcefulness, quilt makers combined artistic inclinations with practical solutions to meet their basic needs. Women of all ethnic and economic backgrounds began quilting, introducing a chorus of voices into a realm previously dominated by elites.
I told Isaac I'd make good use out of all those fabric samples from the catalogs at the store. Most men don't even want so many choices when choosing the mail-order suits. There's no need to throw out perfectly good pieces of wool. If the good folks at all these catalog companies want to provide free dry goods with their catalogs, then I am happy to use them. I didn't at all mind the time it took to remove the swatches from the sample pages. Well, not much anyway. 400 excellent wool pieces is what it took to make our new quilt. We will sleep warm this winter.
I need to get this finished in time for Israel's graduation. Now that's a fine word. Graduation. From the Hampton Institute in Virginia. Who would have thought that the daughter, my daughter, of a Cleveland County laundress would be a college graduate? I did, and so did our friends in Shelby. We all provided her with an education. But Israel, she wanted it so bad and worked so hard, she did it all pretty much by herself. My Israel wants to be a teacher. She wrote me a letter just last week. I believe in education. There's no doubt that education is the key. The only key to unlocking the wonderful things that are available to all in life. Isn't that fine? Now I got to finish up stringing these pieces and get on with it.
It was nice of Joe to provide me with some new material to use for my next quilt. He's such a dear grandson, always fetching me some goodie. But it isn't any better than the sackcloth that we used for years and years. Oh, it didn't matter if it came from a feed bag or flour sack. It was right pretty, and there was no need to buy any new fabric. there was this one quilt that had some nice new fabric. The lovely double wedding ring I made for Lualta, she being the second of our 10. My friends helped me gather enough of the sackcloth for the top, all sprightly colors and patterns, but I did splurge on the backing with a lilac satin. Well, it wasn't real satin, but you could hardly tell. And that lilac is her favorite color. And now his son, dear Joe, doesn't know that I'm making him a quilt with the same fancy new cloth that he brought me.
Ernie would be so surprised. He was always on me about finishing my flannel collection from my SIGs. But what he doesn't know, I saved up 100 pieces and I bought the box set that included the large stars and stripes, and all with my own money. I just wonder what the cigarette folk will give out next now that I've collected all the flannels. Oh, I wish I could just send him a finished quilt at Camp Grant. It would provide such warmth during the harsh winter in Illinois in all places. But I suppose it'll be better if I just keep it safe here and surprise him when he be home. Which should be quick-like. Which will be quick-like. Just fancy our boys over there fighting the hung alongside everyone else. I'll just save these socks here and send it to him. That'll help.
Well, that just beats all. The war's over and our boys will be coming home, and my new quilt finished just in time. I think I'll invite the girls over to see it. Minnie laughed at me using that frogskin camouflage cloth from Camp Lejeune for the backing, but it turned out real nice. It's quite pretty with the red thread. It's not like there've been a great many fabric options available. And I was determined that we'd sleep warmer this winter, and a new quilt ought to do it. Besides, that nice Mrs. Milton's husband, he's a sergeant, you know, provided me with the frogskin. I couldn't let it go to waste. I wonder if they and all those folks over by Lejeune will be leaving. I reckon that base might be permanent even with the war over. Anyhow, I could say I have a piece of history, world history, stitched into my quilt.
I sure am glad I finished Mr. Roberts' quilt last week, just in time for his wedding. And it's my best one, the letter H quilt. He and the new missus are going to like that fine fabric and colors. I wasn't sure I was going to finish it in time, what with that special binding, but tying made it go quicker. Mr. Robert, he's going to get a chuckle out of that O with all those H's, and he'll know why it's there. That boy, he couldn't get his ABCs to save his soul. It just seems like yesterday when Mr. Robert and Miss Patricia were small children who needed careful tending after their mother passed too young. But I don't miss those days. No, sir. It's good to have your own place. And me and Eddie, we're our own family. What with raising our nieces' babies. But that's what I do best. Provide love and care for the young ones, especially those who've lost their mothers.